Okay, in this video, we're going to have a little bit of fun. So I've got an exercise, I've got a little assignment for you to do, and that is flipping a coin. We're actually going to use Google Coin Flip, okay? And if we get a heads, we're going to buy, and if we get a tails, we're going to sell. Now, the whole point of this sort of exercise is to show you that the entries are not the most important thing, okay? I've been trading for 12 years now, and I'm pretty good at getting the direction of a market right. But I realize that if you're a fairly new trader, you probably aren't as good and you often get it wrong. Now, people really tend to stress about this. And what I'm going to try to show you in this video, and hopefully you will get similar results when you try this for yourself, is that actually the entries do not matter. Okay, it's not the most important thing, and it doesn't matter if you're wrong. The whole point of this strategy is that you are allowed to be wrong and you have multiple chances to be right. And even if you're wrong, you should still, in over 90% of trades, you should still get out at break even or a profit. Okay, that is literally the whole point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip away all of the analysis, all of my experience with candle patterns and market structure. I'm going to take all of that away. I do not get to make the decisions, okay? Google Coin Flip is going to decide whether or not I buy and sell at the levels. And what we're doing here is we are relying entirely on the ability of this strategy to recover losing trades, okay? Now, you'll notice a warning on the screen right now, and that is because when I made this video originally in the first version of this course, I genuinely got negative reviews because people thought this was the strategy. I think it just says a lot about the world that we live in. People don't really pay attention. This is not the actual strategy. Do not try this on a live account. I am not telling you to flip a coin and then put real money in the market. So please, please, please read this twice. Pay attention to what I'm saying. This is not the strategy. Don't leave me a review saying this guy is crazy. He's telling you to flip a coin. That's not what I'm doing. This is just a really good exercise for you to see how well the strategy can actually recover when you're wrong. So let's begin then. Here is the current price, okay? It is currently between two levels, and this is normally where we would start looking to the left and looking at how it had reacted. I would drag the fib across, we would see the lines, and then you would make your decision based on that. You would also look at the daily chart, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, whatever, and you would pick a direction based on that. We're not going to do any of that. Literally flip a coin, buy or sell. The green line that you see, this is 7 o'clock, so this is when I would typically start trading. The red line is the New York Open at 2:30, and the white line is when, you know, the US market closes. So what I'm going to do is start trading here, be aware of this time, and then try to get out before this time. That's pretty much the only rule. I have also marked on the second day, and this is NFP. I thought it would be quite interesting to trade through NFP, which we know is going to be very volatile. And this day is also very volatile. That's why I've picked this day. Now, it doesn't matter that I've already seen the price action that happens because I can't choose. I don't get to choose buy or sell. That's completely out of my hands. So I cannot cheat, basically. Whatever happens, happens. So let's get started then. What we're going to do is we're going to flip this coin and see if we're buying or selling. Okay, we got tails. We are going to sell. So that means, where's my little arrow? If price pops up to here, we're going to sell down. And if price drops down to here, try it again. If I actually click my arrow, we're going to sell. So this is what we're going to do. Whatever happens now, whichever one of these lines price gets to, we're going to sell. And the normal trade management rules apply. So here we go, and let's see what happens. Are we going to trigger it in? No, we got very close then. Okay, I'm going to say that touched. It looks like it touched. Let me zoom in. Yeah, that touched. Okay, so we are in a sell trade. Okay, so we've sold from here. Now what that means is, obviously, if price is going up, I need to have a recovery trade at this level. Okay, so we'll assume that this is a pending order, and we're going to see what happens. Properly sideways market so far. Is that going to trigger us in? Okay, so it looks like we're back down at break even. If it starts to move down, I will drag the fib down to the next one just so we can see. Spikes up again. It still hasn't triggered us in. And we're approaching the 230. So it's 230, or it's nearly 230. We are in one trade. Okay, we have one sell trade on. This one here, the order at this level has still not been triggered in. We know that on the 230, price goes a bit crazy. It could shoot up, it could shoot right down. So what we need to do now is make a decision. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll out. I'm going to grab hold of this and clone it. And I'm just going to drag this down so that we have got the next set of lines on. That's close enough. Now with the 230, as with a news event, you don't want to go and set a load of pending orders at every single level. Of course you don't, because if it's gonna fly 200 points in one direction, you're going to trigger in a ton of orders, and we don't want that. So what I always recommend you do then is do it from sort of the 50 and maybe up at the main level. So we want to do something like this. We don't know which way it's going to go. Scrunch up a little. We don't know which way it's going to go, so we would do something like that. That way you're only triggering a couple of orders in, okay? You don't want to trigger in loads and loads of orders. So here we go then. Obviously, if price goes down, then our TP, let me get rid of these. Our TP is obviously just at the next level, okay? In which case, it would close here. Or if it triggers these in, it'll close wherever it closes. We'll work that out at the time. Okay, but what we need to do now is obviously we still have our pending at this level. I'm going to set another one here. So we'll say we've got one set here, and I'm also going to set one up here. So worst case scenario is we've got one trade on and we're going to trigger in 2, 3, 4. So we'd have 4 trades on. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to do anything with increasing lot size or anything like that. Let's see what happens on the open then. We might hit TP before then. Oh, no. Okay, but we have triggered in this trade, so we now have 2 trades open, which means the break-even point would be there. Okay, so if price comes back down now, can close both these trades at break-even. Let's see what happens. Look at that. Boom. Straight down. So there we go, in that one candle. So let me just move this. So we're now out. That's our first winner. These ones are now cancelled. Simple as. So it's 230. I'm just going to give it one candle, just let it calm down. Okay, so we've got like a kind of doji wiki thing. Now what I'm going to do is obviously flip the coin again, because price is now back in between 2 levels. So we need to let Google decide, are we going to buy or sell? Okay, so this time we're going to buy. So whichever one of these lines price reaches, we're going to buy from here, or we're going to buy from here. Let me zoom in and let's have a look and see. Okay, so price shot up, which means this trade here just went straight to TP. I'll draw it like that. It's actually literally done it instantly. This trade never got triggered. So far we've had 2 trades, 2 wins. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me colour these green when they've won. And I need to actually set these. Whoops. Visual order, bring to the front. And we'll do the same with this one. Bring to the front, and we want that green. Oh, I've just changed my fib to green. I didn't want to do that. God's sake. Honestly, the layers in TradingView, it drives you mad. Right, there we go. Make that. Bring to front. There we go. Okay, so 2 trades, 2 wins. Price, again, is obviously now it's between 2 levels. We need to flip again. What is Google going to make me do? Okay, so we're going to buy again. So even though price is flying up and it's pretty much stopped at the 50, it's looking good for a reversal, we're going to stick another buy trade on. So we're going to buy if price reaches here. And if price drops back down to this level, we're going to buy from here. So whatever happens, we're going to buy. Let's have a look and see. And again, that's just shot straight up. Google's not actually bad at trading by the look of it. So that is another winner. So 3 trades, 3 winners without even being able to predict the direction. Same again. Let's see what Google wants us to do for the next trade. Okay, this time we're going to sell, which actually is pretty good because the market looks quite stretched. It's shot up a long way and it's probably going to come right back. So Google seems to know its stuff, I would say. So we are going to sell down from there, or we are going to sell down from here, whichever one it hits first. Let's have a look and see. Okay, so it's triggered this trade in. I'm going to leave that one there as a pending. So obviously the target for this trade is going to be this level. Let's see how this plays out. Okay, we've now triggered in the next trade. So if price can come down here, I'll now be able to close both of these trades, and that's another winner. So let's see if that's what happens. Beautiful, look at that. So that now makes this one a winner. And obviously this one's break even. So the sum of these two together is a winner. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 trades and 4 winners without even being able to choose the direction. We've had 2 trades where we've had to add an additional trade where the direction has been wrong. So far Google has been right twice and wrong twice, and we've won all 4. So this is the end. This is literally the point of what I'm trying to get across here. Is your win rate does not have to be fantastic. So far our win rate is 50%. It's 50-50. We've lost as many as we've won, or rather we've been wrong as many times as we've been right, and yet every trade has come out in a profit. So this is literally what I'm trying to illustrate. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do this a little bit quicker because the video is sort of already at 11 minutes, but I'm sure you can see how you can sort of do this yourselves and how really unimportant the actual analysis is. It's the management. The management is so much more important. What I'd like to see over these next sort of day and a bit that we're going to trade is for one to go really far against, and then you'll sort of see actually the system still recovers it 90% of the time. That's what I'm aiming to do. So let's crack on then. We need to flip the coin again and see what's going to happen. And we're going to buy. Okay, so the market's looking good for a drop, and now we're starting to buy. So potentially this is going to go against us. That's good. If price gets to this level, we're going to buy. And if price pops up to this level, we're going to buy. So let's see what happens. Okay, we've triggered in this one. That one is now going to be a recovery trade if price comes back down. So the target for this trade is up here. And let's see what happens on the next candle. Okay, so it's dropping down. It's looking like it will trigger in this trade. No, not yet. Nearly. Okay, so it's now triggered in this trade, okay? If I'd set a pending on that one, it would have also triggered in that trade. So what I'm actually going to do, because that's so close to this line, is I'm actually just going to buy. So let's move this one to here. That one's been triggered in. This one's already in. I'm now going to buy straight away here, okay? And I'm not going to set a pending on the next one. Let's just see what happens with this. Okay, so price is pushing down again. It's starting to wick. This is the 50% level. It's looking good for a reversal. Oh, we might just get there. Tell you what, actually, yes, I will. Let's just put one more on because it is starting to wick. We might get another sort of doji thing. So I'm just going to set another order here. Price is coming up. Okay, so we look at that. That has triggered that one in. So now in 1, 2, 3, 4 trades, our break-even point is somewhere in the middle here, just above that 50% line. Look at price just bouncing from the 50% over and over. Okay, so price has dropped down again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick another buy on here at the current price. So at this point here, I'll be honest, looking at this, at that point there, we did have a chance to get out. That could have been everything. Whoops, that could have been everything out at break even right there, okay? However, because the candle dropped straight back down, because trading view, the way it forwards candles is just painful, okay? In reality, if you were watching it, you could have got out. Obviously, we didn't do that, so this trade is still open. We've now put our 5th trade on, okay? So again, we still need, assuming these are all the same size, just put these back.